Army Genius is the... Oh, look at that. They'll go for a Dark Willow, so switching things up a little bit. I know you Rubik would have been a great option, John, but it just seems like every Rubik that comes out today just doesn't work out. So I think both teams just had enough of Rubik in general. Go for the Dark Willow instead, switch things up a little bit here for AG. Yangon Galacticos. How do we want to go with this fourth pickup? Perhaps just choosing the other support, maybe? I mean,
yeah, at this point, I think...
Yeah.
Let's go for your 5. Like, they already see some of the lane matchups. It's going to be a Bane safe lane plus maybe a TA, maybe a Kunkka. All they're really lacking info is on the off lane, but they still have that flex option, the Monkey King. Could still be mid to deal with, say, a Kunkka mid. That's where it's a bit tricky for YG. They have last pick overall, so AG's actually got to figure it out, and they go with Batrider here. Now, that could be a support Batrider. We've seen that before. Very greedy with a line, though. So maybe we're just seeing all cores. I don't like that possibility. As well, Batrider can play pretty fast, but last picking your support overall just doesn't feel great. It does feel like a reactionary pick to the TA. So I think what they're aiming for is to see what AG does close out with, figure out what lanes come out from that, what sort of laning duos make more sense, and kind of toss the Batrider, Monkey King, and Mars around to whatever role they need to keep that TA down.
Final bans to come. AG, they'll go first. I really want to hear more about the the snake eating itself, Jonathan. What was that all about? Are you trying to imply that a snake eating itself would make a perfect circle? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That...
No, but it's a symbolism. It's called the Ouroboros or Ouroboros or whatever. It's Greek. It's an ancient symbol of it's a symbol for the eternal cyclic renewal of life, death, and rebirth. It's a concept. If you studied art, Mike, you would know. I had to study so much art. What was I doing with my life, Mike?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, you studied art, Jonathan. Where did that get you? It brought you right to me, didn't it?
Yeah, Mr. Thanos. Snap your fingers, Mike. That's it.
It brought you right to me.
Brought me to you.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What a
well done with your arts degree, Jonathan. I hope it's working out for you real nicely.
Oh yeah. Sad thing is, I don't even have the full degree, so there.
There's only one thing as useless as an arts degree is an arts degree that isn't even completed yet. I think that's probably the most useless thing I've ever heard of.
That it is, Mike. That it is.
Don't worry, John. I made the same mistake of doing an arts degree once as well. I can't make too much fun of you. So Army Geniuses, final pickup. Not much time to think about this one. 8 seconds reserve time, in fact.
They're probably looking for the Wami hero again, but you can see the respect ban to the LC, just a really great counter to Batrider with a press the attack, and the Lina ban, which I don't know how you flex that with Lina, but it could have still run mid. They go with the Abaddon instead, so
is that
yeah,
offlane Abaddon? I think it is.
I think it is, but I will honestly say I prefer safe lane Abaddon, which is insanity.
What?
I prefer safe lane Abaddon and an off lane Kunkka. Yes. You know what happens when an Abaddon gets a lot of farm, Mike? You do not have fun when you go for a right-click Abaddon. It is not fun to run against that. Now, considering the lane, none of the lanes feel good for the Abaddon Kunkka if they are shifting on the side lanes and TA does take mid. They don't feel great. Monkey King Mars just makes that hard. Maybe less so in the Kunkka, but for the Abaddon, it just doesn't feel great. This does give them, again, that shield to protect, to dispel off that lasso. And YG will close out with the Shadow Demon support, so it does look like we will have Monkey King, Mars, and Batrider as cores. Now time to see who picks that Abaddon, because the flex here from AG is pretty hard. TA safe lane, Kunkka safe lane, Abaddon safe lane to an extent works. It is a Wami Abaddon, right? So not the most exciting. We're not going to see insane right-click builds, but there's still potential there. I'd say Sanjin Yasha is pretty good. Echo Saber is nice. If you can go for a Radiance, which is very uncommon nowadays, it's pretty good. Ags is going to be good, just because constant healing is going to be pretty annoying to fight against on AG's end. And this does give you a lot of utility. Now, you are lacking a lot of team fight on AG by having an Abaddon off lane. So the pressure's on Narman's Dark Willow, on Azura's Kunkka mid to really make plays here early on to enable DB on the safe NT to just farm. And think they've got to be able to line up those team fights because YG have so much better control. They've got Lion, they've got Batrider, Mars, they've got the circles on top of each other, Mike. And AG just doesn't have as much circles to throw on top of that.
Yeah, regional finals is tomorrow, Jonathan. I hope you do even more research on your circle so we can really get deeper into this circle theory you have. Still, it should be a very interesting matchup. I suppose I'll ask you one last time, Jonathan, for tonight. Who has the better draft?
On paper, Yangon Galacticos probably does have the better draft because it's such a gambit when you have that Abaddon offlane. If it doesn't get farm, it actually just feels terrible. You basically end up as a support Abaddon anyway, and that leaves you with like 3 supports in AG's end. But I want to say AG will be able to play this one. Azura's Kunkka is, maybe not as well known as say Mamang Dayas, but he has performed well on it before. The TA is going to have a hard time up against a Batrider. But that's a Batrider mid. Young PH is going to have to deal with the Kunkka instead, which is still not great for Kunkka. I just feel like AG is going to be able to get what they want here, but YG on paper does have the better draft. Just on paper, Mike.
Okay. I was kind of leaning towards AG. I have a lot of faith in the offlaner, but let's see where this one goes. Game number 3 to decide the final team of the BTS Pro Series Season 10, at least for phase number 2. Funds are coming out. I mean, it's been a long day for both these teams, I'm sure, so sure they'll be glad to get this over and done with, and hopefully the winner will feel good about themselves as tips are already coming up.
Oh, yeah.
What are they saying?
Fine match? Sorry, and pick another hero. I mean, fine match. DB wants to keep for Rish. Like, yeah, go all in. We gotta get in. If Doogie's getting the good luck, have fun, so I can toss one in as well. No.
Hold on a minute,
get them in.
Azura. Oh, Azura does not realize he's being watched right now. I believe he's talking to you, Jonathan.
30 seconds to back.
Are they using you as bait, John? I mean, they're on the high ground right now, Jonathan. There's a banish out for the disruption. Earthspike is going to land. They have used JohnXFire as bait to try and pull off this first blood. As Narman's going to try and run away. Oh my goodness. Oh, Narman's still alive, but not for long. Caster interference from JohnXFire. It's cost the first blood here for AG. John, what have you got to say for yourself?
Indomie is worth it. Okay, they invited me. It's AG saying that I was gonna get the Indomie, so it's on them. Narman wasn't typing. Narman wasn't typing. You can't blame me there. He was focused, and he still got caught out. That's what you get for playing at 12 midnight, Mike.
Yeah, certainly so. Oh, we'll start off with the mid lane. I feel like switching things up today, Jonathan. Young PH going to be against Azura, the Kunkka vs Batrider matchup. Usually we'd, say Kunkka doesn't really lose many matchups in that mid lane, but against the Batrider, it's a bit of a different story. I mean, Bat is also one of those heroes that doesn't generally lose the mid lane. We'll see how Azura does try to deal with this hero, but I imagine things will be pretty tough for him here.
Yeah, it's not going to be smooth going for Azura. I think you can expect Young PH to get a lot from the lane, but we'll have to see as it develops. We've seen Kunkkas win this, so it's actually pretty 50-50. Just down to whether or not you can actually use those sticky napalms to your big advantage. And Azura right now is copying a lot, but he lands a torrent. That kind of trades well, although going to be forced to TP out of that.
Yeah, but he's going to be just fine. In fact, Young PH takes quite a bit of damage himself from that tier 1 tower. I've looked at the other lanes while we still have a chance. Of course, top lane, you've got Vrish there against Skill Lay and AT. You are going to have DB there on that position 1 TA. Again, we've just seen so much Mars today. In fact, AT's just played so much himself. He's been having a great day on it, though. I mean, just constantly dominating lanes. Even against DB right now, just having a good time. In fact, a nice spear back into Skill Lay with the disruption to set up. Getting more damage out onto DB while they can. I suppose when you've played Mars all day for AT, you're just so used to it by this point that it's just second nature.
Yeah, you just know the angle to take, you know how far you can push someone back. and is leading to a pretty good lane for AT, but DB's gonna be fine. He gets salved up from Varish. It's the initial levels for the TA that don't feel great. He does have at least the side blades to get a little bit more range out, so not under constant threat coming out from YG, but that disruption to spear combo is still the most basic and easy setup for the kills here.
Want to try it again. Rish in with that T1 tower is going to go down. Nice pick up here for 18. In the meantime, down a bot lane, Narman going to drop as Kish able to pick up and kill himself on the Monkey King. So things going very well thus far for YG. Already 3 kills going their way, and AG yet to pick up their first.
Just slower lanes. I think when you think about the side lanes, when you think about Abaddon plus Dark Will, it's just not very aggressive. And YG does have that early tempo setting, that early kill potential with their own control, with their own duos, and that's something AG's going to have to manage. They need to wait out, they need to get levels, they need to get some farm, and that is going to be an issue for this draft. Like off lane, Abaddon, and that's where you take issue with it. It just needs so much farm, it needs so much levels to really get going, and that really the only person that can play is Azura, and he's still getting run down by Young PH.
Not going to completely burn out though. Young PH now the one that's forced to back off, as again the T1 tower hits have been a little bit annoying here for the Batrider, and this could be somewhat concerning, right? Like Young PH has been desperately trying to get these kills on Azura with this power spike, but he has not found it. In fact, Azura is finding himself ahead in terms of CS, and as the Batrider, you are quite dependent on really dominating that mid lane. And I don't feel like that's really happened here for Young PH.
Yeah, it just hasn't. He hasn't seen that big opportunity to open up, and as a Kunkka, again, we've seen this matchup. When you kind of get the lane like this, it feels really good. You've got the CS lead, you're forcing all the mana usage from Young PH on you. He's not able to use Firefly to clear out the camps himself. They did block off Azura's camp, so he's not able to snowball off of that fact, but it's still keeping the Batrider pinned down more than it is keeping the Kunkka pinned down. I think that's something that you will have to kind of rectify. There are some good stacks being built up in the jungle, so there's that flash farm set for Young PH, and I think that's going to be one thing they need to secure very early on. You have to make sure AG's not going to see that opportunity to steal those stacks away, keep that triangle very secure. And again, considering AG's slower playstyle right now with this draft, likely they're not going to be able to find that opportunity to steal unless Azura does get a very fast start into level 6, level 7.
A very close call down a bot lane there for a second onto Zorain, but Nama was just unable to get the job done. So Kish was there to just protect with the Boundless. Zura now almost looking to get aggressive himself in this Kunkka. And I feel like he's just not really fearing the Batrider anymore. You just missed that massive spike that you were looking for, and Young PH is going to try and find someone else to aim down with this Batrider. You already see Varish as well in that Bane, just stacking up that jungle. Pretty standard here when you are with a TA. You've always got to be careful though how much you stack against the Bat, right? Because the Batrider, chances are he's going to be able to just out XP everyone, rotate into the jungle and just Firefly everything down. I don't think Varish has stacked that much yet, just in case Young PH does make that rotation, but you certainly have to be very wary of that.
And I like the position they've made those stacks. Top jungle instead of the triangle, which the Batrider has faster access to, so he's going to have to work his way into that jungle to really clear out and scout out, and YG hasn't had that opportunity to drop deep wards yet, so it's still not there. Lasso out though onto Azura.
Yeah, but they still can't kill him. Narman, with a great rotation now, might be able to help punish this Batrider, as Young PH is not going to get hit by the brambles. He'll be able to avoid it just fine. Azura, though, still having a look around. He does land the X, but he's still taking a fair bit of damage here on this Kunkka. It's going to be quite close between Young PH and Azura. Zorain even chasing down the Kunkka, but the Earth Spike is not going to land. Still, he is surrounded. Hex is out. Varish, he will still be able to protect Azura. In fact, now they turn back in onto the Lion, and they might be able to get that kill, but no Zorain. He's in the fog. He is out of danger as well. Varish cannot finish the job, and somehow everyone in this mid lane has survived.
Man, this is it. This is peak Dota right here. The mid madness is in play. No one's dying. No one's gaining anything. No one's really achieving anything with these movements out. They're not taking stacks away. They're not denying farm. So both sides are kind of left behind from that. They do at least check out these stacks now on the triangle. So DB does know something's up, Varish as well. This is the moment where Young PH will be forced to try to clear, but they're going to contest this hard.
PH again, pop the Firefly, onto DB he goes. The TA naturally doesn't really like this Batrider. Zura's going to try and help, but a nice arena down by AT, going to lock everyone in. And Army Geniuses are just going to burn alive, or maybe not, because a boat will fly in from Azura onto 2 heroes. But can they actually finish anyone off? It seems like they should be able to eventually get Young PH, but he's on the run, and he's fine for now. Narman, though, he'll stick around and get the job done. One down, Skill Lane now trying to get himself out. Does also go down. In the meantime, though, Azura does drop to Z-Rain. The fight continues, but Wami, he'll get Z-Rain down. Hirsch. Maybe spear away onto Wami. That'll save the life of the Monkey King. A pretty long team fight between these two, and it ends up being a 3-for-3 trade.
Yeah, it's only 8 minutes in, and everyone's just clumping down mid. You bring the Monkey, you bring the TA, you fight for the stacks. It's still sort of intact here. Killay is trying to keep building up to give that farm onto Young PH. But AG are aware. Now, they have used a lot of their spells, and they take a bit of a loss, but they're still looking to scout around. They really don't want to give those stacks away.
All-out brawl into the mid lane for game number 3 is Young PH still going onto Varish. Should eventually be able to find the kill, and does. Find more. And Narman, he'll be the one to chase him down. In fact, DB now is rotated. Onto the Batrider they go. Everyone just in a single file line trying to chase him down. They'll land the trap slow, and that should be more than enough to get the job done. And it does seem like they'll get it. Great trade here for AG now. It's only going to be a 1-for-1, but a support for a Batrider kill. You can't be too upset with that. The fight's not over, though. Wukong's command now going to land onto Azura with a great spear arena down. That'll be the Kunkka. The boat will fly in, but it's all too late. Meanwhile, Wami, though, he'll just keep the fight going. Onto the Monkey King, but he can't really fight within that Wukong's command. Not without that borrowed time. Still, DB will join the fray now, but it doesn't look great for AG this time, as Wami barely gets away with his life intact. AG will be focusing. They'll try onto the Shadow Demon. So Kish does find Wami across the map anyway. So he didn't get away in the end. Do we want to keep fighting, lads? I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah, they've been non-stop. It's the mid-madness. They don't want to stop, but Kish has had enough. Goes back to farming. Side of AG wants to get back control in the jungle. Wants to give DB that farm. This is hurting them a lot. Because Kish has been living through these engagements, 3-0 has a lot more farm, working towards that Echo Saber. In comparison to the build-up here from DB, it's a lot slower. So this is negatively impacting AG, just focusing so much on fighting into that triangle when YG is ready to contest every single time. That has still put Young PH a bit behind. You know, he's still lagging behind Batrider in comparison to the Kunkka, but eventually that space will show itself in that triangle area anyway. So I don't think you're too worried about Young PH's timings. AG now needs to slow the pace down, get that farm going, because again, you've got Abaddon off lane. He needs a lot of farm. He's basically like a secondary safe laner. Not really a true off laner in that sense. It's another win condition you have to build up on. It takes investment. So I think it's in AG's best interest to just stop this aggression, maybe surrender some objectives, like top is being shoved in, and they can't really defend that without everyone showing up, and they just lose so much farm every single time to do this.
Mid lane, Young PH. No, he's going to be just fine. Movement speed just way too high on the Batrider. The group up will be a top lane here for YG. Still not really committing for that tier 1 top though. Sit back and relax for a bit. Rish will show himself now to defend that tier 1. I suppose they haven't got the greatest sieging lineup on YG. It's a bit hard to even commit for these tier 1s at the moment. There's all Rain. Might be able to actually just stun up this Bane, but yeah, baby. Rish just keeping his distance. It's going to be okay for now. So he wants to stick around to try and at least soak this level 6 for himself, but Zorain just does not want to allow it. Nightmare will be there to hold back the Lion. Poor old Varish, he'll have to find his XP elsewhere. But just not going to allow him to stick around.
Yeah, they drag Kish as well for that top tier 1 push. They're going to be able to find it, breaking off the smoke rotation out from AG, but they have caught Young PH out.
Yeah, nice pick up that can finish him off. The Bedlam's plenty of damage, and Young PH has nowhere to go. McNarman, he wants to keep going onto skill lane. Why the hell not? Terrorize will land. In the meantime, Varish does go down top lane, but they found so much in the mid lane that AG, they won't mind that trade. In fact, they're onto that mid tier 1 tower now. Why the hell not just force the rotations back in from YG?
Keep going. They're going to get bigger objectives from that tier 1 mid. They're already shoving the bot tier 1 as well with Wami solo. AT kind of had to put his body there to prevent it, and you just lose mid. So the bigger map control does go to AG. They find a big killing Young PH. Sure, they sacrifice some of their supports to get that done, but not the biggest loss in the world considering what they can do on the map now. There's some stable space to farm for both DB and Wami. And Wami's just working towards the Yasha. Once he has that additional move speed, he can keep that mist coil going, keep the Crisp Happiness up.
So easy to secure these kills with Narman around. Azura just sets up the kill, and with the Bedlam, it's just so much damage. It's just not problematic whatsoever for Army Geniuses to get these kills done, even on the off lane. That'll allow them, of course, to just focus down this tier 1 bottom tower now. I mean, they already got the mid. They still have an off lane Abaddon, so they can really push quite fast. Even with that level 2 Curse of Avernus, it is more than enough.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nope. Just need to commit the bodies for it to get the damage off. And for the side of YG, you mentioned it earlier, Mike, but their siege is just not that fat. And they're kind of hitting this early spike where they want to force fights out. They've got the Echo Saber up in Kish. They will go for a smoke play. Blink is still a ways off from AT, but they know where AG's playing. They're all gathered up bot. They're all trying to farm. If they catch DB out, this could be big.
Could be. They are going to spot him out first. I mean, Wami is right behind to protect. They are going to drop the Brambles, but now the Arena and the Boundless making it very hard. They could not get anything out. The Iconic Shield just never flew out onto DB. So they will at least catch something. The Shadow Demon, that is, but it's still going to cost them heavily on Army Geniuses. So they've lost Varish, and now Narman. Not really too safe either, as the Earth Spike is going to land. And they will find a triple kill onto Kish. In fact, it might be an Ultra now as they found Wami, and he does not have borrowed time available at the moment. So why not just give an Ultra kill to the Monkey King? That's going to really allow YG to escalate quite fast now on this this carry. I think they might just be able to pressure that mid-tier 1 themselves.
And they can look for that push opportunity. Respawns are fairly short on AG though. They will have the numbers to defend rather soon. And they're also not done. They're going to keep forcing the issue here.
Non-stop action in this game 3. Problem is, Kish is still around and he's gone back onto Asura. They get Young PH though, and it's a great start to this fight for AG.
Back so soon.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They want to go back in. I mean, Azura's still around. Almost just trying to entice them to come back for the fight. Seems like the circle, as you would say, John, you'd be very happy to see that, has been drawn out here from AG.
Yeah, YG drawing exactly where AG's sitting around at. Bigger circle. The circle within the circles are coming out. Very attractive. YG, I mean, they can kind of just sit back. They still have good control of their triangle, so they're getting some good farm out on Kish. Really need to see a little bit more coming out in Young PH. He's just so vulnerable. He needs the ults to self-save. Until that's up, he's just such a great target for AG to constantly pick on. But I think the greater issue still stands for AG. They still have this greedy lineup. It's only a Yasha and Wami. He's going to need the Manta to get his own self-dispel, to deal with some silences, to deal with some control that may end up his way. And YG, they're just on the hunt. They see Azura alone. They don't have forward vision here, but they see that opportunity and they want to force the issue. AG do have good defensive wards, so they back off right in the nick of time, as they do see that movement out from YG. And YG, their sentry right outside of range of those obs, so they don't know that they're seen here. They might feel a bit too secure in that jungle trying to clear out.
Rude bump, Wami. Azura on a boat onto AT. Disruption though is going to save him from hitting that boat damage. Zura's still moving up to him though. The arena has been dropped. They just defensively try and get themselves out. They're not interested in the fight right now.
It's quick Dezo and DB. So they're actually looking to force Roshan with that minus armor. But it's not a very secure spot. They don't have forward vision on AG anymore. To spot the triangle, to spot any sort of counter fight, they will still take that risk. DB hang around a bit, maybe looking for some information before doing so. But they will go. They've got the boat ready. Nice grip.
It is, but Disruption is going to save. Still Zorain. Probably not going to find a way out, but no, a nice boundless strike and a finger onto Narman will get him enough time to get out. Swami will keep chasing the Monkey King, but he'll just turn as now they even the lasso have they've caught DB out on the TA, and this could be a real disastrous kind of fight. As Kish now is godlike on the Monkey King, and Roshan is nowhere near finished. Though YG, they might be able to just jump in and get them themselves, but they won't. Not yet.
No, the hesitation from AG, all that double thinking on whether or not they should go Roche is a massive issue. There's a double damage now as well, Mike, so they're going to be able to take the mid-tier 1, go for the Roche afterwards. Again, respawns are still short. There's still some time for AG to respond to at least that Roche fight.
Here we go again. AG will at least find a nightmare onto that Shadow Demon. Counter strike though, going to delay things. The skill late actually trying for the TP. I suppose he does force out a terrorize. It's whatever. I mean, it's worth a shot, I guess, for a good old skill late.
Yeah, forces an ult use. They do manage to snag away the DD. They take the mid-tier 1, but they can't play for Roche. I think AG's under more pressure to take that Roshan, just because you've got the TA, you've got the Deso, you want to take the Roche as soon as you can. Oh, YG's just not letting them. So YG taking these fights really well. They are at the point now where it's harder to burst down young PH. He's got self-save in the Yules. He can stall out. He is just going to go for a very open build-up. Could go for the Aether Lens, just to get that added range, get a good lasso off. Wami's been doing a good job of canceling off the lassos, but the follow-up stunts from YG just make it hard to keep anyone alive, I think. You will still need a BKB on DB, and that is his next pickup here, Mike, but that's a long ways off. Still, it's not like AG's lagging too far behind. 17 to 12, but only a 1k lead, less than 1k lead for YG. The only hero really to run away with gold right now is Kish. He is set to get his own BKB as well very soon, but his lead isn't massive. 1.3k above the TA, roundabouts. Not quite enough for an overwhelming lead. Sorry, that's around 8. Yeah, 1.2k, so not enough to have a major item spike, but it is enough to maybe get that earlier BKB timing, look to force the issue a bit faster, and play around from there.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm still just looking for that Roshan. And neither side obviously wants to give it up to the other.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It is probably going to be Army Geniuses that are still looking to take that Roshan first. Might find DB just trying to get that BKB up first, however, and that'll really ensure them just a bit more safety in that Roshan pit. YG still hanging around the top side, still keeping tabs on that Roshan. Well, there is a BKB to come out very soon for Krish, so he's going to be even more of a problem very, very soon.
Dire are scanning.
Army Geniuses. They'll have to be very careful now. I mean, the BKB is there. We're not going to see a smoke straight off the bat, but I wouldn't be too surprised if YG want to force another fight. The Army Geniuses are also grouped up and look like they might force a smoke out.
Yep. They are a bit off from their own BKB here on the TA, but they have the BKB on Azura, so I think they will kind of just want to keep using it while it's still pretty long in charges, force the issue up against YG. YG's using this time a lot better. Again, when you consider who needs to farm on YG versus AG, it's a lot more forgiving for YG to be stuck together like that. Like, AG needs farm on Azura, AG needs farm on Wami. Manta's almost done, but then you also need to get farm up in DB. The farm distribution of AG has to be on point. And so far it's not. Wami's lagging severely behind on his offlane Abaddon. The Manta still lacking the recipe, not too far off. But just the Manta on Abaddon, it just doesn't feel enough. I think that's going to be the hurting point for AG. The offlane Abaddon not quite giving them what they want. Still, that smoke you mentioned, Mike, from YG is in play now. Let's see if they can catch someone out.
They've given enough time now for the TA to have his own BKB up, so it should be a rather interesting fight. If they can find each other, that is. Instead, just an illusion rune going to be scouted out here by young PH, so he'll just take it for himself. And it looks like the smoke has been given up on. Army geniuses not allowing the opening here for YG to force the fight they wanted. Well, we might see a counter smoke now because you do have that Manta up on Wami. And again, the BKB is already there on DB now. They just want to smoke up and force it. It's a very slow process clearing out this creep wave apparently for old Wami and Narman. There we go. Smoke up is there and they're going to try and head into that triangle. Or even pings coming up for the Roshan pit, so maybe just try and go for the quick steal. They could get away with this. It won't take too long with the TA. In fact, it's quite fast. Along with that Curse of Avernus and... well, the reactions aren't coming fast enough, it doesn't seem, from YG. Gonna jump in ASAP, but... Roshan's already so low. Spin though, there is a balance strike into the Wukong's command, but the Aegis has been taken by DB and Krish. Looks like he went a little bit too far. Disruption does buy him a bit of time to turn back around onto DB with a nice arena down to lock everyone in. Krish is just scared of nothing. He's got Barish down. He's got Wami down to boot. They even got the Aegis off DB, and they might find him a second time. There is just no control lacking for YG this game, and this Monkey King is just hitting so darn hard.
It really is, and it's just the power of the circles, Mike. I hate to tell you I told you so, but those circles stacking up from YG, the arena, the Wukongs, there's so much more control, as you mentioned, and AG just doesn't have that. What can an Abaddon do against that control? It can a Photic Shield 1 break off one piece of control, that's it. Right, their team fight's really stuck on Azura, to an extent to Narman and to Varish to get a good grip off it. It's so hard for those heroes to set up in comparison to YG. They just have better control across the board. They have a line. They have the area control they need. They have a Bat Rider with Lasso. Like, you couldn't ask for any more, and AG are just hard-pressed to fight into that. They take the Roshan in the end. It cost them massively. A 3k lead for YG stands. And for Army Geniuses, I think at this point, I don't know, I feel like you just surrender this offlane Abaddon, because it's just a Manta. Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, the mindset of Abaddon, of course, just run up, right-click, get the Curse of Avernus off every single time, and just scare off the supports. But he can't do that. The supports are just so well protected by all the control everyone else has on top. That a Photic Shield to save one is just not enough, as we do get a disconnect from Wami. Maybe he's cooking up that Indomie, Mike.
Maybe, Jonathan, but he definitely could choose a better time, I'll tell you. It's 25 minutes into this game number 3. We'll see how long this disconnect takes. I do agree with your sentiment, though. I think the Abaddon has had literally no impact this game. Even many moments where there could have been a Photic Shields to save from the Bat Rider, or just, you know, line stuns or disables, it just hasn't been there. The impact, it just feels very lackluster right now for Wami. We will have a quick reconnection though, which is very, very good.
You know, at this point, I think if you look at Narman here, Mike, he is going for the Ag straight up. He's got the Philosopher's Stone on Dark Roulette. I think at this point, Narman's going to be the guy who's maybe going to be scaling a little bit more into the late game in comparison. Like, Wami still has that opportunity to do so. He just takes so much farm. He doesn't farm at all. You see him clearing out the waves. He's hitting them, and that's it. Maybe use the Photic Shield every now and again as well to clear out the camps, but it's such a slow process to get that acceleration. As Wami does need a pause, so maybe those noodles are done. You know, he went out, boiled the water's done, coming back, drained the noodles, mixed the sauce, and voila, Indomie to save the day.
Yeah. Nothing like a merienda break, I suppose. Oh, goodness me. AG. I wonder what the problem is. I mean, that's kind of the question I have. Everyone keeps saying second, can I have a minute, this and that. It's like, well, what's the problem? What do we... We've got a
there you
PC problem.
go.
Thank you, Varish. We've got a PC problem.
Yep.
Oh.
Gotta love that coming out at 1:20 a.m. and +8, Mike. No go.
You mean
Next time.
420 for me, John.
Okay. That was unexpected.
420. Hey, there you go, Mike.
That's right. I mean, it's 419,
There you go.
but you know, I had to do the 420. I mean, kind of cringe
It
to
is,
say
it's
419.
almost 420.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad. For 420 though, that is a chef's kiss. As we do get the unpause right in that segue, you can see YG starting to clump up top. They want to take this tier 2. Their siege is still slow, but there's no defense out from AG. There's no posturing at all. So AG looks like they are just willing to let go, knowing that they can't really take these fights. Just take what farm they can, build up maybe for a potential high ground defense early on, or maybe look for a trade on that bot tier 2.
They get the top lane, tier 2 tower. Well, tier 2 going down as well, but they want to try and force a fight against the young PH is in onto Narman. Balance Strike is going to connect through the Shadow Realm, but he's going to try and put the TP, playing the spear. It won't matter. They have plenty of damage with Kish. Now just through the bot lane. I mean, YG, they feel very confident at the moment. No real need for them to slow down. Not with the advantage they have, they'll just keep going through the bottom lane and get more objectives down. It just seems like YG just... Can't remember the last time they were really ready to fight. It just feels like they're always lacking something.
They're just held back. At least they have the Silver Edge up on Azura, so some damage is flying through from Kunkka. Although he does get caught out here.
You know, the purge is there, but young PH has not made the jump in. There you go, there's your lasso. Nightmare was out for a second, but it's just so much damage. Zura is going to be forced to BKB and run. Young PH, he'll keep playing around here with Varish. He does want something for his time, and he probably will get something for his time, as Varish really has no way out. He's going to be happy with saving his Kunkka. It's Krish. 13th kill of the game now on this Monkey King. He's going to be feeling very, very good. Still yet to die on the MK.
It's a perfect game so far. He's had everything he's wanted from the lane. The lane matchup for Abaddon versus Monkey just doesn't slow down the Monkey enough. And they're at the point where Narman's actually clearing out these camps himself as well just to hit that ag. So they're starting to bleed gold away to everyone. AG just looking like they have no direction right now, Mike Hansi. As you mentioned, they don't have the items to play with. Just feels like they're always kind of lacking farm. It's not the biggest net worth gap as well. 3k lead for YG is not the most ridiculous we've seen. It's just the state of these heroes. You have pretty much 2 farming cores, almost reminiscent of game 1 when they ran TA Storm. Right? Like the TA Abaddon just feels like they need so much to be online that you need to stall this game out for almost forever to hit that spike.
Try and set up on this lion. Zorain, nice blink away, in fact, to a very nice earth spike. They're still going to be able to secure the kill onto skill lane. In fact, Zorain isn't out of the woods yet either. Will be the second to drop, it seems, as Narman is able to get the job done.
That's what you get.
YG sticking around with the 3 cores, but no supports to play with. Try now. Onto that Batrider as young PH. Try and run, but the arena is dropped by AT. They still chase young PH, however. The Batrider barely able to get out. They also get the Mars out. So, few BKBs used, but they don't really get any kills here for AG.
It's holding them back. They need some of these kills. They need it to flow in, because that's how they bounce back. That's how they enable themselves to hit these spikes. They've got the blink up on Wami, so you can at least jump up, immediately try to get the Curse of Avernus off, pin someone down, and apply that tremendous pressure that he wants to do. He's also got a nice Burning Cloak coming in, I believe, so he's going to have kind of a budget Radiance up as well, which is really what you want on the Abaddon. They do manage to catch out young PH, but he's still flying around here.
Oh, Fiend's Grip is going to catch him. They're going to try and help here with the Monkey King. Kish might be able to get some trades for his team. Zorain has shown up to secure the kill onto Wami. Varish, he'll just TP right out of there on the Bane, but the Boundless Strike is not going to land in time. Instead, they have found a Kunkka, which is a much more valuable target. So Azura and Wami both going to go down for the price of young PH. That should mean YG can just push in that mid-tier 2 tower now.
Yeah, they've got the big heroes they need down. Only benefit for AG right now at this is space for DB to farm. He's got some room down bot to clear out the entire jungle at the cost of his entire team kind of falling flat. It makes it hard for that to make sense, because again, you need some scaling up on the Abaddon as well. And the only issue right now for YG is their siege is still pretty slow. The creep wave has been cut off by the illusions from DB. They can't really go for the full committal yet, and the respawns are coming up, so AG's got some time to respond. They could deny off that tier 2, but it's still above deny range, so not going to be able to deny that gold off, but they do at least stave off the inevitable here for now and buy themselves some more time.
Where do they want to head from here? Like Roshan 25 seconds away from telling us when it's going to respawn. And they still are hunting. AG though just playing the avoid game over and over again. Trying to just get that farm going on DB, but it just feels like he's never able to really overtake this MK.
Are scanning.
Yeah, it's a slow process for DB, but considering the state of the game, like, you know, 17.5k compared to Kish at 19.1 with 13 kills, you're honestly doing a pretty good job here on DB to keep yourself up in the game, to keep yourself at that same scaling rate as the Monkey King. And I think that it feels like that's their one last hope now on AG. The fact that DB is still building up, that the Crystallis, the Hurricane Park is going to come out, that the Lincolns instead is coming out, so protection from Lasso is going to be there. They catch one support out.
Skill lay, sticking around way too long. AG still within this game. Is YG, even with that skill lay death, still seem willing to force a fight if they have to. Overall, though, they just want to make sure that Roshan does remain protected. I suppose now they just want to make sure that that double damage rune does not go to the hands of AG, but well, they've got no choice in the matter. Azura going to be able to get the bottle up. Maybe with this DD, they could try to really get a great team fight for themselves here on the Dire. Lincoln Sphere also up now on DB, so chances are you're going to have a pretty tough time trying to deal with this TA throughout a fight. At least at this Bat Rider. DB. Narman. They're being stalked right now, but no, they were kind of spotted out here by Narman. Apparently, is now the made to jump in onto that lion. Still DB. Who are we aiming? He's trying to go after young PH, but they've lost both the supports, or rather just one for now. But there goes Narman. That's your second support now going down for AG as Kish is just going to go for the man fight all by himself. They've got the TA with a great spear out from AT. DB just cannot survive in the middle of the Wukong's command. He's been left without buyback. YG, they might be able to go high ground at this point as they are just completely cleaning up. They even find Azura. And this Monkey King is just well and truly out of control. But they ping Roshan. It's not even up yet.
Interesting choice. I guess YG just aren't confident in their sieging speed, which is still maybe relatively slow. They will set themselves up for a pretty good Roche next, but the respawns aren't too long. So it's not going to be far off for a couple of heroes to be back up, figure it out. Top lane is shoving in naturally, but they're not capitalizing on it, so not the best use of time from YG, but they do clear out a mid-tier 2. They open up potentially 2 racks to be taken, and how do you deal with Kish? Like, he still has BKB ready to go. The damage output of the TA is not enough. There is no Wukong to worry about for now. It's not going to take long for it to be back up. Once the TA is back, Wukong is also back. And that just leads to the circles coming up. The co-incentric circles are going to go into play once more, Mike. As the racks are set to fall and AG has no defense.
The top rack's gone. They won't overstay their welcome. They still want that Roshan. 10k now with advantage, there's no reason to throw that away. YG will go calmly back for the Roshan now. Should be pretty free. I mean, as AG, you're going to feel the need to try and fight this. They'll try and make their way over the 5-man smoke, but it's already broken here on Wami. Zorain, now with the Hex, Kish, more than happy to get the damage out, and it's so much damage. Boat is going to fly in. The lasso has caught out Azura on the backside. Varish and Zorain both already going down. So who are they really aiming right now? The Monkey King's just kind of been kited around completely by these Abaddon illusions. But it won't matter. They are still dropping like flies. Poor old Azura just trapped on the high ground as the Kunkka. Meanwhile, Kish has found DB once again, and that'll be another hero without a buyback. Kish, there goes Wami. You've got buyback on the Abaddon and the Kunkka, but it's not looking great for this next high ground defense. Znarman, the final piece of the puzzle, is eventually going to go down. Do they go back for Roshan? Not quite. It seems like they want to rush the mid lane.
They've got the opening they were looking for. And they blew everything on AG. It was a very split up fight, as you pointed out, Mike. They isolated Kish, but it was just Wami jumping in.
GG?
It's not enough.
Is that a GG call? I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's not a GG call.
No, it's a emote.
It's an emote. Oh, these boys are being cheeky. These boys are being very, very cheeky. I feel like an emote saying GG in a lobby game is probably a pretty bad idea, isn't it, John?
That does sound like a bad idea, Mike, but them's the breaks. Not an official GG call out. I believe we have gone past the 10-second mark, so yep. We're still in it. AG hanging on. 14k lead here for YG. They can go back for the Roshan. They will make their way down. AG cannot really fight there anymore. They've got to play high ground somewhere. I say that, but I'm not seeing a great high ground defense here. Both Torrent, that's it. Terrorize, maybe Ramble. Not enough. Roche falling fast to scan the spot, but not going to be able to stop this.
Lasso, who have they got? They have caught out the bait again, so Varish looks to be the first to drop as he tries to go for the Fiend's Grip onto young PH, but he's going to die before he can fully get it off. Zwami again being targeted here by this Monkey King. Kish just afraid of nothing. DB trying with the BKB out, but that's about to wear off. Azura's still going as well onto young PH, but the Monkey King is your real problem, so he needs to just run now. You just can't deal with Kish. Rambles out, trying to lock him down and slowly chip away at the HP pool, but now he's got his BKB out, so DB, he'll go into the supports. 3 down so far. They've actually taken down 4 in fact, but Kish now just pops the Wukong's command by himself onto DP. The meld is there and he has no detection. This is a 19-0-10 Monkey King. I don't think they can actually kill him. Maybe they can though, with 4 heroes around, in fact 5 heroes around, but no, he's gonna fight back. Azura's gone. Wami is just about to fall. And yeah, Kish actually probably won't die. Aegis? Well, there's one life. Can they get him the second time though? Dallas is up. He'll land it onto the Dark Willows. Zorain's going to be there to back him up now. Terrorize, however, is going to connect, and that might make it a little bit more challenging to stay alive. The finger out onto Wami as Kish. He's still going on the creep wave. He just lifesteals through it. Curse Crown, though, should be enough. The balance was not good enough, and now the first death of the game is finally going to happen for this Monkey King. They finally get a kill. And that'll be Zorain to drop to boot.
What is this game?
I don't know,
What is this
John.
game? What
I
is
don't
there an
know.
egg shard that's being pinged out that hasn't been dropped? It's in the base. Okay, thank God. I thought they left it behind. All right. AG showing us they're not out of it yet. DB is a bit of a raid boss if he does get the damage off. It did take a while to deal with Kish, but they found it in the end. That's the kill they needed. Still gonna need a lot of items flying out. I think at this point, once more, you look at Narman, Mike. He's got the Ags. He's been doing great damage with the Shadow Realm. I think it's time to just make this guy the actual core. Wami is just dying up front. He's getting some good utility with the Curse, but not enough. Oh,
Young PH.
oh man.
One of the classic Young PH moves, I say, John.
Oh,
Nice defensive arena, but the Nightmare will lock him down. They don't really want to buy back on this MK right now. They will be able to take down the Batrider in the end. In fact, Azura now going to chase down the Mars. Might be able to find a secondary pickoff.
Dire's middle tower.
AT still trying to run. Narman on the chase. It looks like he should be okay. But Young PH, a pretty unnecessary death on the Batrider.
yeah, it's a bit far forward. Doesn't respect the output of AG. And somehow AG are sieging a tier 2.
Yes, they are.
What does Dota Plus say about this? 26% win probability for AG. Oh, YG down from what looked like a 99 at one point. So great on AG. They hold out well. They punish this bit of a maybe boldness out from YG, and they find a double damage onto DB. That's a lot of output now in the TA for this next fight, as they are smoked up. They're looking to force the issue while that Monkey King is down, and YG's got to be cautious. They've got the Wukong's back up, Monkey King's back, but they need to really respect what AG's trying to do here.
Army Geniuses move in. Zorain has been spotted, so the X will be there. Disruption will save by skill late. I think that's going to be it for AG. I mean, at the end of the day, they asked the team that is still behind. Not really their place to be going high ground right now, so they are just going to back themselves out. But this game is getting closer and closer again as YG just... It only takes one bad team fight and they will just lose so much gold and XP.
Yeah, they bled back a lot. I mean, it just looked like AG was done. You know, the GG emote out, and the way the fights have been going, but they stay in power. They've got the Hurricane Pike coming out for DB. It's in his backpack. They just need a little bit more damage. I'd say a crit up on DB will kind of fix most of their issues. Still a smoke out here from YG. If they catch AG with her pants down, this could be the death knell.
The smoke might be a little bit obvious now that Zorain got caught in the bramble, but Zora break the smoke. Young BH though, he's got the lasso onto the Kunkas. Now they just full on go in. Azura and Wami trying to help survive. It's the Batrider. Oh, he just keeps moving forward. They've already got Narman into Wami. They're going back. Never mind that, because they found Azura with a spear out on the arena. That'll be the Kunka down. DB is still trying, but he does get stunned up mid-TP, and it looks like he is set to fall. The man fights with the refraction, but there is no fighting right now. Not against this Monkey King. He's down with that buyback. And YG should at least be able to get one more lane of barracks. Maybe even two. So the buybacks are there though, and it seems like they're actually going to back.
I think they respect the fact that Wami and Azura can actually do a lot, especially if they focus in. They do still have Wukong here to go once more with a refresh pop from Kish, but no secondary arena. So the circles within circles isn't quite up, but there should be no problem for the racks at the least. Mega Creep still protected here for AG. Tier 2 still stands bot, so it's either they go for the Tier 4s or they back off after the set of racks here.
I've got to realize there's no buyback available. You've got Wukong's command as well, so you can really zone them out quite easily. Lasso back up on Young PH, so he can go for Azura or Varish. Even Wami. Why the hell not? Seeing how easy it is to deal with him after the borrowed time. Not the fastest process for these tier 4s, but they get in there. Now it looks like they might actually have to back off here as Wami will try under the bat again. Young PH trying to blink in for Varish, but now he's been caught out on the boat. Will land eventually. Still the help is there from AT. Trying to keep this man alive. They do get him to blink out. The 2 racks is up, but not Megas yet. Azura able to pick off skill lay on that Shadow Demon, but well, they've got somebody else. They do. Zorain gets caught out as well, so 2 supports for their trouble. However, Narman, no, they're gonna leave him be. They won't try to chase him down through the Shadow Realm. And so they're still within this game, AG.
This is madness. I think AG still finds ways to slow down YG's high ground. They know now about the refresh on Mars and the refresh on Monkey King. So I think AG is going to be able to adjust their playstyle to fit against that. They are going for a smoke play, looking for some further punishment while the supports are down. I think the key thing here is, while Shadow Demon's down, there's no saving play. There's no disruption to cut off their initiation, so I think they want to find some kills while they can here.
Spear out though, Azura. That's a dieback. Just not expecting to jump in like that. Krish, BKB committed. He'll get Rish with that. DB, well, there's your refresher out. They've got the TA now. That's the target they really want. The spear, though, going to push him onto the low ground. Not quite what they wanted, but they'll go after Narman instead. Try and secure that Dark Willow kill. There just aren't many buybacks available right now for AG. And that should be YG going back into the T4 towers, I think.
They've got their numbers back up. No buyback on our Kunkka. No buyback on Bane, so should be able to get some good pressure in. I think Narman with his buyback might be something to deal with, but they've got the Ags up now in skill A, so they've got the charges in the Demonic Purge. They can constantly slow down the TA, constantly slow down that Abaddon. And it's just an issue of getting the damage onto these T-Force. Buyback force, but that's the only buyback AG has left in that.
Mommy speared right to the tower as DB. He's going to try and delete that line, but needs to back off now as his BKB is going to wear off. AT just happily chasing him down. They've even got Narman on that Dark Willow. That should be a dieback for him very, very soon as they've even taken down the TA. That's GG, it looks like this time around, as Wami is the last piece of the puzzle. There you go. GG well played has been caught on YG. Confidently take game number 3. Tell you what, Don Kish's Monkey King, 26-1-12. What a performance.
Yeah, he did really well. He just got a great lane. AG tries something quirky with the Abaddon off lane, and it didn't quite work out. Like it's such a strange pick. I get that they wanted to counteract Batrider, but they lacked a severe amount of team fight. Their control was really just Torrent, Boat, Ramble Maze, and Terrorize. That just wasn't enough. Like, they had the single target in the Fiend's Grip, but you compare that to YG with a Lion, with a Shadow Demon with saves, with the 2 circles from Monkey King and the Mars, just too much, along with the last from the Batrider. Like, yeah, you had a decent lane for Azura up against Young PH, but you sacrificed way too much in your lane with Wami, and DB went off to a pretty slow start as well with skill lane and AT just doing a lot of work on their duo that AG just couldn't find her opening. So that's the end of her journey here on the BTS Pro Series 10 Phase 1. YG does get to move on to face up for the big bucks. I'm keen to see what YG does. In the first series, didn't look so hot. It was a lot of back and forth. Same thing here, a lot of back and forth in this last chance decider. But they're a team that you can't underestimate. They're a team that can surprise you.
Are you taking your time on purpose, Jonathan? It's 5 a.m. in the morning. You just won't stop talking. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the regionals tomorrow as well. Regional finals. Don't worry about what John's been talking about. He just kept going and going. I can't handle it anymore, JohnXFire. I've got to shut you up now. Regional finals tomorrow. Do tune in. We'll be back for those. Very, very exciting stuff. What is it? Boom Esports vs Team SMG and Fnatic vs T1. 2 great series. It is MLP Dodo and JohnXFire, and it's been a pleasure. We'll see you all again tomorrow.